we are, full casual. Here we are. This isn't an intro theme song.
I want to start this show by not apologizing.
And divorcing me for whatever that just was?
No, I think I called the Rodriguez-Ortega fight pretty well.
Dan,
I just didn't get the result right.
It was The Secret.
I just didn't get the result right. Listen, first off, I said
Manifestation, the book The Secret.
I said Ortega was fragile. He rolled his ankle jumping in warm-ups.
Oh, no. I call this the reverse Johnny Walker, where you get hurt before the fight even starts by yourself.
During announcements, yeah.
Yeah.
Sick, dude.
So we now have the Ortega, which is getting hurt before the fight in the cage, and the Walker, which is getting hurt after you've won the fight.
But the Ortega works because he's Homer Simpson.
It's kind of like a blood sacrifice. You double down, and then you get extra powers in the third. You basically just you give up the first.
Get your ass beat. He got 10-8'd in the first round.
Only one of the judges.
In my mind. And also, yeah, literally
he did technically
literally on a scorecard. Yeah, he got 10-8'd. And just, I undersold how tough he is, how durable he is, but that's not how you really want to describe a championship level fighter. Durable.
No, and then what does this mean for him going forward? Like, do we know
he might get a title shot if Volk just doesn't want to fight, right?
I'm asking, how bad is that injury? How bad is that ankle?
Who knows? I mean, he has plenty of time, right? Because they're going to try to figure out the Spain situation.
When is the Spain
for Taporia? They haven't figured it out yet.
Oh, they haven't put a date on it?
No. Oh. Well, they haven't even. They're getting the wheels in motion. They're just like, we could do this. They do that a lot.
They didn't even if we have a champion, we'll probably go to your country.
It's like UFC Africa,
France.
I mean, they missed out on Mexico when they had 3 Mexican champions. When Moreno was champion, when Yair had the interim belt.
I think they also blew the Africa one.
Yeah, that's what I said. When they had all 3 African champs.
Yeah.
Well, they can still do it with DDP now.
It doesn't feel the same.
Feels wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mike Collison.
You have the 2 posters.
That's how you really, start the fires in South Africa.
Yeah.
You have DDP Izzy in South Africa.
Back to the Ortega fight. Why did Yair gas the way he did? Or what happened?
Elevation, dude. I don't know. That's Ortega's secret power. Like, he can withstand your assault, and then he gets that submission in. It's deep.
He's like the Ditto from Pokemon, just like a
stand-up's not great.
Yeah.
Stand-up's not great, but once he's on the ground,
well, he hasn't fought Max in a while, so he hasn't gotten many lessons. You know what I mean?
It was his second win since 2018. Yeah, because his only win post-COVID is Korean Zombie, who
solid win,
little washed, right?
That keeps you in the top 5 of the division, does it not?
Got him 2 title shots, right?
Korean Zombie is the gatekeeper.
Well, he's retired now.
Well, was the gatekeeper, yeah.
And he wasn't remotely close to his peak of his powers. He caught him very late. Yeah, it's a nice name on the resume, but it's like,
I feel like Korean Zombie's powers stayed the same his entire time in the UFC.
No, it's kind of like fighting Anderson Silva around the Uriah Hall fight.
No, that's exactly. We're talking 2 opposite ends of the spectrum, Daniel. We go from one guy who had the greatest difference in his peak and his valley, and one guy in Korean Zombie.
No, Korean Zombie was awesome, and then he What? Like all the way through? What do you call the teens? I guess
aughts.
No, the aughts would be
the O's.
Like 04, 05. I'm talking about like 2013, 2014.
I guess the teens.
Yeah, 2015. Yeah, we're talking about I believe he fought Korean Zombie in like 2020, 2021.
Yeah.
Different man.
Look, all I'm saying is that I think Korean Zombie gave me an 8.5 out of 10 for his entire career. And never once did he break above a 9.
An exciting fighter.
Sure.
Action-packed. But Ortega, you know what? I don't know. What do you do now? Maybe he fights Masvidal.
Really? You give him you make him fight someone else before you put him in for a shot?
Maybe.
I think
keep him busy.
We're running out of competition for Taporia.
I know. That's why the Max fight doesn't make any sense. It's going to be fun, Gaethje Max, but both of them should literally have title shots. like Gaethje should be fighting Islam and Holloway versus Topuria. Who says no to that?
Technically,
Could Topuria Max still happen if Max loses to Gaethje? Because it has no relevance on the division.
I do think it's a free spin of the wheel.
It's like you did us a favor.
I don't think Justin...
Because it's the biggest fight on the card. Let's be real. It's the co-main, but it's the biggest fight on the... Or I guess it's maybe the third fight because there's going to be the title fight. I don't know where it's going to be on UFC 300.
I think it's third.
Damn, that sucks. It should honestly be the main event because that's what sells the card.
The Sweet Dreams Pereira fight does have...
Fun, but Max Gaethje is what I'm signing up for.
Fun.
Yeah. It could be one-way traffic, though, if Gaethje just destroys him.
I don't know. Max looks big, and he's tall, and he's
Gaethje's
got
much
good
bigger.
boxing and works his range very well. Gaethje also hittable.
If Max wins, it's probably fight of the year.
Gaethje no longer has a title shot if he loses.
Oh, yeah. No, he loses the title shot. It makes no sense for him. But for some reason, if Max loses, I think he could still
Yeah,
fight
I think
Topuria,
he gets the
6
free
months
roll.
later.
Yeah, he rolls with advantage
And,
for our D&D friends out there.
yeah, I kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
But definitely fucked up with the plans of Yair versus Topuria would have made a lot of sense. Mexico versus Spain.
It would, but I felt it would have been underwhelming. Like, you rate Yair so high. And I think he's...
Maybe underwhelming, but like the fight-wise, but the build-up between you have the Spanish versus Mexico is a real rivalry.
True. Topuria just knocks his block off, though.
Oh, yeah. Topuria's going to knock out Ortega comes
know.
in with those looping hooks. It's over.
If
Within-
Ortega can get it to the cage or get it to the ground,
We don't know anything about Topuria's ground game. It could be good.
it's not. I mean, he was a Greco-Roman wrestler, and that was his first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not really known for the ground abilities in Greco, though.
He trains. He trains that jitsu.
He does. I think he's a black belt. I've seen, there is a picture of him in a gi, and I did use it as our thumbnail. So
clearly he trains a little.
something.
He's not a total liability on the ground.
I mean, it could be a karate gi. Who could say?
That was my main
doing
event on the
research.
card. Main event
Main
itself.
event. Let's go. Main
Battle of the
event.
Brandons. A little disappointed, considering I have such high expectations for Brandon Moreno fights now. Just because of the wars with Figgy, the wars with Pantoja.
Yeah. Here's
The
my
Kai
take.
Kara France knockout.
Here's my take. If Brandon Moreno was named Ian Gary, he would have won that fight.
You would think he would have got some home cooking. It's in Mexico City.
So here's what lost in the fight in the fifth round when he held
volume.
in that clinch.
Literally,
No,
no, dude. Roy Val threw like 500 punches, landed like 10% of his punches.
And then the ones that he did land were coming off the glove
Yeah.
as well. Like
Brandon was blocking everything and just kind of like
kind of moving out the way, kind of doing his little. It's Brandon and Yoel Romero kind of do the same thing. Where they're like little shoulder shimmy.
he doesn't tip. Yeah, a little short shimmy. But speaking of Yoel, I told you about that.
We'll
I called that.
We'll come back to that. Yeah.
Fucking worst fight of the weekend.
Don't spoil it. But no. So, did you have Royval in this fight?
No,
I didn't either. I had Moreno. Yeah.
But I don't. Now it's a weird spot, right? Because Pantoja has already.
Well, how'd you score it?
Well, I would have probably just had Moreno, just unanimous, like 3-2 at least.
Oh, so you didn't go back and look at the scorecards of this fight? Because I thought it was ridiculous.
Some of the rounds, yeah, were completely off.
So 1 through 3, none of the judges got a single of those rounds the same. Let me look at that. Rounds 1, 2, and 3, not one of the three, like the 3 judges in none of those rounds scored them all the same.
I mean, the second fight of the night, what was it Victor Altamirano?
The Brazilian, right?
No, the Mexican. He got robbed too.
No, he was fighting the Brazilian.
Yeah, he was fighting a Brazilian dude.
Yeah.
He had like 9 takedowns, 5 minutes of control time, and just like same amount of strikes essentially, and he did not win the fight. It is. Oh, dude, are they Mexican judges? Did they fly in some
Yeah, they
like
have
sleeper
to.
cell agents from Brazil? What happened?
Actually, I don't know how that works because you have to be certified by the organization, the commission.
Maybe
the
there's some
commission.
shenanigans going on with the cartel. Who knows? I'm just asking questions. Pantoja, that was cold though when he was just like 5-0
against both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3-0 against obviously Moreno, 2-0 against Royval. So it's now that Pereira is the headliner of 300, 301's in Brazil. You got to think Pantoja is the only champion right now, so they have to headline. That's available. So he's going to probably headline UFC Brazil.
Unless
the
Terminator just runs it back.
If Pereira just knocks out Jamal Hill in like 5 seconds. Yeah, maybe. Doesn't get hurt. He talked about that. He said he was up for that, yeah. But I will say...
Mr. Pereira, if you walk through Sweet Dreams Jamal Hill, could you turn around and fight again?
Yeah.
Yes.
But if he, is a normal fighter and maybe gets a little banged up, has to take...
I think Jamal touches him.
Takes more than a month to get ready for another fight.
Right. Do we do something with Charles again?
I guess Pantoja's the headliner. Yeah. Well, Charles is on 300 too.
That's right.
I don't know why they decided to put all these Brazilian fighters a month before the Brazil card.
It's probably some up-and-comers we're not thinking of that can, like, get some shine in, like, a Brazil-only card. You know what I mean?
Not really. I mean, Figgy's on the fucking 300 card too.
Mm-hmm.
What are they doing? At least move 301, right? Like or just change the locations. Put the Brazil card a little later. You have all your guys on 300. It doesn't make any sense. But what do I know?
Gilbert Burns still needs a fight.
Yeah, sure.
Ian Gary's almost Brazilian now.
He's Machado.
But the main card again. I had Moreno winning 1, 3, and 5.
Okay.
I had Royval. The for sure rounds, 5 went to Moreno, 4 went to Royval. I think 1 went to Moreno. And so you're really looking at 2 and 3, which are pretty crazy splits. And Royval's jiu-jitsu, I think, in the second, because Moreno got that takedown, but he threw in rubber guard. Threw it over the shoulder and we started landing those elbows down on him, which looked pretty good, and went for the omoplata and ended up getting away, and Moreno didn't really do too much there. Kind of unfortunate. Like, I don't know. It's how do you score the takedowns again? Like, from damage, it looks like Royval did more, but from control, it looks like Moreno
Royval was just more active, right? He was just throwing.
Throwing everything.
He threw
long.
so many punches.
And Moreno just
landed not many.
It's almost like, it was in like third gear the whole time. Like, just kind of wasn't quite just getting it going. Couldn't find it either. Fight of the night, though, I think was third fight on the main card. Torres. The lightweights.
Oh, Zellhuber?
Yeah.
And, Zellhuber looked awesome. Daniel Zellhuber.
Was that it, Zellhuber?
Yeah, he's fought Prado.
Prado, yes. Yeah. It's like, Prado was
tough.
Dangerous in the first. Hit hard, like very...
Hard hitter, a little too short.
Yeah, too short for... Yeah. It felt very like a Jalen Turner fight in a way, where someone just like couldn't quite get in. But yeah, Zellhuber behind the jab, and it's just like tough, angry fight. Both those dudes. Like, I think going into the third, they were like, what was the other guy's name?
Prado,
yeah. Prado thought he could still win that, and just didn't quite give enough. Couldn't quite get it going.
Just different levels of this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then who was the 35-pounder who came down to 25 in that fight? Oh God. Sorry, it's early in the morning, guys. Brain is.
It's fine. It's a fringe Mexican card.
Yeah.
You don't need to know these names. You're supposed to be a casual.
True, but I don't want to.
I will say, all right. So who could potentially fight?
Oh, before that was the Sam Hughes Yasmin fight, which I think that was a good fight too for a girl fight.
What's that mean?
Sometimes we consider them less to have less volume, to be less active.
Who does?
Carrying on, this fight was amazing. Sam Hughes stayed in it and was right there, so close to getting it going, so close to like turning it on, and there was just nothing for her. And Yasmin hit so hard, so much more volume, counter-punched every time, controlled distance. Yeah,
that's fine. I don't really... Let's move on. Yeah, okay. So, Pantoja, potential opponents. Do you think if Makayev, he fights this weekend, gets the dub. Maybe you just like rocket ship him up to a title shot.
Let me see who he's fighting.
Muhammad Makayev. He's fighting Alex Perez.
Oh, yeah. I do love this dude.
Who Pantoja has also beaten Alex Perez.
Right.
He's beaten the entire division. I don't know how.
This is an Izzy situation now.
And then Amir Albalzi just never fights because he gets hurt all the time.
Has he fought Kai Kara France yet?
Has Pantoja?
Yeah.
I don't know, but he's also always hurt and has a shit ton of concussions because he keeps getting knocked out.
I know. He either knocks someone or gets knocked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, little guys, they're always
Dude,
fun.
I do
for the most
love
part.
Muhammad Hakev. Is that how you pronounce his name?
Muhammad Makayev.
Makayev. Crazy fighter. Did he blow his knee out in that like knee bar exchange?
He got knee barred, I believe, tore something and still won the fight, yeah.
Yeah. No, but he got it like blown out.
Super young, too.
Yeah. Is it too early for a title shot, or is this his time for?
I mean, if there's nobody else available, then you have to headline
UFC
Brazil.
Yeah.
You need a fresh opponent, I guess. Or you just run back Moreno, even though he lost. Cejudo actually just called out Moreno for 300. He's like,
why?
I know Dano has one more spot because they have beef there. Cejudo and Moreno have beef.
From when? From when Cejudo was in the...
Just for, I think, Cejudo, like, disrespecting his Mexican roots. He also trained Figgy.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I can give him that.
So, I mean, I'd be down with that. Moreno versus Cejudo. Even though Cejudo's supposed to fucking retire.
It was the flyweight fight. Jesus Aguilar was a savage.
Jesus.
Yeah. No, Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus Aguilar.
So that was UFC Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
They just promoted the event in the Sphere to a pay-per-view event. Noche.
It had to be. How would
UFC
it not
Noche.
be? How would it not be?
I know, but usually Noche last year I think was just a fight night card. But it's going to be, I think they have an official number on it now. Nate Diaz has already said he wants to fight on it. He said, fuck 300, get me on Noche.
Because he just wants to be in the Sphere?
He wants to fight in the Sphere.
Dude, it's a sick venue.
And Connor's going to end up fighting Nate Diaz.
Let's go. Run it. Run it. Run it.
Michael Chandler spent so much time. Oh, speaking of which, Cowboy recently went on a podcast and said red panty night is a fallacy.
Yeah, not a thing. Apparently,
not real.
so
So Chandler's been spending the last 2 years of his life making zero money for nothing.
I think Cowboy's situation was different.
Is it? Because I don't think Chandler's is, the crazy big B-side that, Cowboy, they're like similar.
Yeah, you're right.
They're similar
Honestly,
in status.
Cowboy more of a company man. More history in the UFC, longer.
Chandler's been a company man for the short period of time he's been here.
That's true. He does have the Dana White privilege.
Mm-hmm. Tough scene for your boy.
I think it's just if you can get pay-per-view points or not. Like it's fighter per fighter. I think Red Panty Night is real if...
How did Cowboy not get pay-per-view points on that card? That is one of the worst pay-per-view cards of all time. And it still got over 1 million sales because of Connor. But there's like literally no one on that card.
I think Cowboy might have like a Chuck situation. Where
CTE falls off a boat. What?
No, I think him and Dana...
Which, by the way, is Chuck okay? He fell off a boat this weekend in San Diego.
I'll send him a text. I think there's a with Dana, one of these, and they have a different deal than per fight than most UFC
So you're saying
fighters.
Dana takes advantage of them?
I think they had a better lock-in deal. Like probably triple.
They take a discount because they're boys.
Well, they've also just been getting, triple paid for every other fight. They signed him to an 8-fight deal at probably 150.
Well, he was saying 200K.
Cowboy said?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you take an 8-fight deal at 200K, and Dana's just like, all right, you're going to fight Connor, but we're still just going to pay you 200K, but it's going to rocket your name, and, if you didn't get elbowed in the nose immediately.
Maybe.
If Cowboy beats Connor like Nate does, like some tons of money.
Yeah, but at that point, he was old Cowboy.
Still angry.
He was set up for Connor to win.
You're right. He was TRT-less Cowboy.
He was hugging Connor was hugging Cowboy's mom after the fight. You remember that?
Again, what we need is someone from inside Connor's camp to just track the blow and like just tell us the peaks and valleys.
I'm just saying, maybe strategically not the best move from Chandler. Bad weekend for your boys at Mizzou. Mizzou wrestling. Johnny Eblin with the win at PFL, but did not look good. In real trouble.
Got the dub, mark of a champion.
In real trouble. His opponent notoriously got KO'd of the year by Joaquin Buckley.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
People are talking about Johnny Eblin as like this all-world fighter.
George Masvidal said that.
No, there's a lot of people in MMA media that think very highly of Eblin. I think they may knock him down a peg now.
Bad fight. Johnny Eblin's look great.
Bellator swept except the main event.
That's right.
Ryan Bader got knocked out in 21 seconds. Ferreira,
Hits hard.
Sorry, man, unfamiliar with your game because I don't really pay attention to PFL. You're a monster, and but man, you're not getting that Francis fight.
What do you mean?
Francis ain't fighting. Francis left before the main event. He was there and he left.
What is going? Is Francis playing his own game?
He's a boxer. He ain't doing anything else but boxing. He's got more money than God now.
You're right. Because Dana White has a famous thing of saying, like, kids can't get Connor to do anything. He's like, if you were that rich, would you be here?
Yeah, but also, why would you go from making, like, $20 million boxing to, whatever, $8 million in the UFC in a harder sport?
If AJ walks through him and boxes him up, all right, so what? So all he had to do was get the knockdown in the Tyson Fury fight,
To
right?
get the Joshua fight.
I mean, yeah, just for anything.
So if he looks really bad in the Joshua fight,
Right.
maybe he comes back. Ferreira's got to, like, keep his fingers crossed.
You know what? I don't hate this, Dan. So he takes the Joshua fight, loses, tries to get more boxing stuff, wastes a whole other year of his career. Comes back at like 38, 39. Old Francis.
Sure. Fights
David,
Ferreira.
no, just talking betting odds, man.
Fights Ferreira and then knocks out Ferreira in 20 seconds.
What if the Brazilian just
Big
KOs him?
big tree fall hard.
Stay with me.
It's still Francis.
Ferreira knocks out Francis.
Gets that rub.
Trilogy fight.
What would it be, a trilogy fight?
Because then Francis wins the second one probably. In like a split decision where it's like mostly grappling again. And we all like talk about Francis's grappling's back.
Listen, Francis.
I'm mapping out the next 5 years of Francis's career.
Francis Ferreira would be exciting for the minute that it lasts. Because Francis just knocks him out cold.
Are you just saying there can't ever be a man as big and hits as hard and takes a punch like Francis?
Ferreira's big, but he's not good. Ryan Bader just also not good.
Old.
Old.
Was it like 42, 43?
And Ferreira was massive. It was just like he just big brothered him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. There aren't any other.
It's a classic Ryan Bader fight, though. If the guy's just too physically imposing, he gets starched.
Yep. While in Mexico City, our boy, Senor Jones.
John Jones?
Craig Jones.
Oh, Craig Jones. Yeah. Hitting the arm bar.
The flying arm bar
off the wall.
Off the wall. Yeah. Or flying triangle, sorry. Not flying arm bar.
It was an arm bar, you're right.
It was a flying triangle. Swoops it in, pulls it back other side. Great. Amazing. There's mariachi bands at Karate Combat. Apparently they're good with the UFC. So there's like some cross-promotional stuff going on there with Karate Combat. So I like that.
Wasn't it on Fight Pass?
I think so.
Yeah, that would make sense. But
thanks,
I
Dan.
thought you were gonna say-
Thanks, Dan.
John Jones also in Saudi
Arabia.
Arabia with
Yep.
just him and Francis and Tyson. Just
All right, so here's the
John. Can we talk about what John Jones looks like right now?
Sure.
He's fat. He's gray. What's happening? He's aged like 30 years in the span of 6 months.
I think he's just chilling.
Yeah. Or the drugs are getting to him.
No. It's just an off pick, like when you see Patty when he's fat.
Yeah, but no, he didn't just look fat. He looked
He didn't look bad.
he looked old.
Did you see the interview?
With
Shale?
no.
It was Shale and I forgot who else was on it too. But so they're in their back. They're talking to John. It's supposed to be just for the TV broadcast, but they pipe the audio in through the whole arena. And they're asking about Francis. And they're like, who do you think's going to win the France-Joshua fight? And he's like, Joshua's going to win that. And he's like, would you fight Francis? Would you fight, Tommy Aspinall? Would you fight? He's like, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, but it'll never happen. Like whoever owns Bellator, PFL, whatever, got interviewed, and they're just like, "Is it on our side?" It's like, yeah, well, who cares, dude? Because like Dana never does cross promotion shit, so it's not realistic.
Yeah, it's not.
It's just not gonna happen. Stop acting like it is, or that like you could theoretically make it happen. You can't.
No.
So it's kind of like a dog shit answer. It's kind of like It's kind of just like you're trying to poke Dana, and it's like, dude, yeah, but you already know how he runs his organization.
I think John can still have a good heavyweight run.
I think he beats Stipe and retires. That's it. That's the run.
He'll beat Tom too.
He isn't going to fight Tom.
You guys said the same thing about Sergey.
What's more likely? Tom and John fight, or Conor fights Chandler? I think neither happen. But more likely, I would go Conor Chandler.
No, I'd go John Tom. I think Conor may never fight again. I think this may be the biggest troll.
Yeah.
Of the entire.
Oh, I totally agree. Conor's never fighting again.
Conor and Francis both have had they're playing their own game out here.
But that is how confident I am that John will not fight Tom. He's going to fight Stipe and retire. That's it. Look at him.
John's not scared, man.
Look at him.
Think of who he is.
It doesn't matter.
This man's high on cocaine.
Sometimes. Not all the time.
True.
But no, Tommy is just too youthful. He can wait him out. John will just keep getting older. I mean, Tom will too, but he's young enough that he can wait. He's heavyweight. He'll be fine for another 7 years.
John's athleticism, man.
Tommy is super athletic as well.
Maybe.
Great grappler. And has hands. Knocked out Sergey Pavlovich, who everyone was terrified of.
John wasn't.
Didn't fight him.
He was the backup fighter. He was the backup fight for
Cyril Gane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he had agreed to fight
It's
him.
like a fucking truck, though. Just peppers you to death.
You got to hit John Jones.
Seems easy now. Seems easier.
Well, speaking of easier people to hit, Yellow Romero, Thiago Santos.
Told you, man.
Wow.
Wasn't good?
Oh, man. It just... There's nothing more awkward than seeing two huge Adonises kind of look like they're about to throw for the entire
But it was
fight.
so bad that it was good, right? It was hilarious.
It was almost like watching two dads fight at a Little League football game where it's just they're gassed immediately, but neither one of them want to give it up because there's too much, all the families watching.
The entire event had little to no juice because it was kind of hyped up as champion versus champion. I think we only ended up having 2 championship fights. Everything else kind of the Pitbull fight got canceled.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking AJ McKee looked good. Mm-hmm. Fucking finished
right away.
Clay Collard within, I don't know, a minute or two.
Who's a tough son of a bitch.
Yeah, I was expecting a little bit more out of Clay. I mean,
you go back.
Clay Collard, that fucking Max Holloway fight, go back and watch that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fun fight.
Yeah. I mean, Clay Collard is no joke. I mean, a couple of these guys did go over to the PFL and Bellator because, they didn't quite have the biggest name in the UFC, and they got paid a lot more.
Even more recently, go watch that Clay Collard Shane Burgos fight.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Who's also a fucking hard-hitting, Adonis-looking son of a bitch.
All these dudes, though, that have recently gone over to the PFL thinking they could just run through it from the UFC hasn't really worked out.
Yeah,
Especially guys we interview like Anthony Putis.
Well, that's a different story, but it's like being a Power 5 conference in football, NCAA football.
You get caught by the little guy. I don't know.
No, but the little guy can go 10-0, but then you come play a big team, and you're like, oh, okay, now we just kind of see.
No, I'm saying the big teams going to the little conference and getting run. Like Burgos, I think has 2 losses in the fucking.
Yeah, because there's tough guys there, but he's also like winning more fights than losing.
Not really. No, I think he's like 500 in the company.
Okay.
Maybe 1 and 2.
There haven't been any guys in their prime from the UFC go over though.
Burgos is kind of, but they're trying to get these bigger names, and they just keep failing PFL and Bellator.
There's a lot of good fighters out there, man.
A lot of good fighters, man. You got anything else you want to talk about? This week sucks. You have Rosenstrike as the headliner.
Can we move past Rosenstrike, please?
I don't know why he's headlining anything. This is the Apex card. There's no reason.
Is he a top 10 heavyweight at this point?
This was supposed to be the Saudi card, and they're like, no, thank you.
Right.
Put that in the Apex.
Immediately.
The Saudis were just like, you send this here, we'll kill you. We'll kill your entire organization.
You know that giant new arena we're building for nothing?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to stop that.
So the Saudi card has been delayed, moved. That's why Muhammad Makayev's on this. But that's really the only card the only fight with consequences, because if he wins, maybe he gets the title shot. We'll see.
And then after
just because of availability.
$299 after that, I think, right? Yep.
$299's in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's March 9th.
Ooh.
Okay, so yeah, we got $299. So yeah, we will not be doing a preview show for the Apex card this week.
No.
We'll come back.
Is there any other...
I don't even know if we'll talk about it, because you guys don't care.
We'll talk about Makayev.
We've seen the numbers. We'll preview $299, but we won't talk about the fucking... And we'll briefly touch on Makayev winning his fight against Alex Perez. Or maybe he'll lose, because...
If he loses, does that really derail his career?
No.
Because he's Topuria-esque, right?
No.
I'm saying undefeated.
Yes.
Tough, strong, super well-rounded everywhere. A lot of, like...
Striking's okay.
But there's buzz behind him, but, like, we don't know about him yet. You know what I mean? He's the first, like... Not first, but, like, he's another one of these, like, we're discovering guys from other countries.
I believe... Yeah. Yeah, I mean, not really. He's just kind of another... He's in that Dagestani group. I mean, he's not... I don't think he is Dagestani, but he trains with all of them.
Yeah. Get a little bit of that brother love.
He might be Dagestani still.
I
can never tell.
I think he is, but I think he was born in a different country. I think it's Dagestani hair or ethnicity, but not nationality.
The flag I'm seeing... I'm unfamiliar with it. I should be better at flags.
You should, history boy. Other big-ish news in combat sports. They're hyping up Nicholas.
Oh, he's English, but he is obviously.
Yeah,
I think he's Muslim.
They're hyping up Nicholas Marigali to be the next Gordon, because I think Gordon's going to be out for a minute.
When's the last time Gordon fought?
Like 4 months ago, and I forget who he fought. Big tank-looking dude, not very good, not very highly ranked in the world rankings.
Anything else going on? Yeah, this week's going to be a little bit of a slow crawl to $299. $299 is a banger, though. I'm excited to see Cheeto just work Sean O'Malley.
Do you know that skit that Merab did, where he like kind of mapped out everything on how to to beat for Merab to be champion?
Mm-hmm.
Everything's aligning so far. The next one is Cheeto needs to beat O'Malley.
Although O'Malley came out and said he would fight Merab next because he got a little blowback. He's listening to the fans. He's like, I don't.
He's doing too much YouTubing.
He'd be reading his own comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta be listening to Joe. Don't read your comments.
You got anything
I
else?
hope he comes out in the jacket.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But he was in Mexico this week.
He was?
He was
there.
wearing a sombrero.
Yeah, he had full, and I also had the full, what would you call that?
It's not a poncho, is it?
It's not, but I want to say poncho. Yeah, we've lost the plot here. Thank you all for another episode of Full Casual. I hope you enjoyed the Mexico City card. I hope you watched the Karate Combat with Craig Jones and are enjoying everything that we're bringing to you.
It was fun.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the Karate Combat. I saw the clip. That's all you need to watch, though.
That's true. All right. We're out of here. Thank you again.